Deb with home cooking is for the birds. Y'all, let's make the quickest dumplings that you have ever made. We're going to start off with 3 tablespoons of butter in a very large pot. Turn your stovetop eye or your burner onto about a medium setting. And then you will need either a rotisserie chicken, which makes this so quick and easy, or you can do like I do. When I come home from the grocery store, I have an Instapot. I buy a huge pack of chicken breast, put it in my Instapot, cook it, and then I bag it up and put it in the freezer, not only to feed my puppy dog. I know y'all don't give me grief over that, but she likes chicken, and we eat it too. So I've got 2 large chicken breasts that I have cooked in my Instapot, and I just shredded it and put it in there. Then you will need 1 container of chicken broth. This is low sodium chicken broth. This amounts to 4 cups of chicken broth. Pour the entire container in your pot. We are going to add 2 cups of milk, and I'm just using 2%. We are going to let this come to a complete boil, stirring occasionally. And while you're waiting on this to heat up and to come to that complete boil, go ahead and open a can of bought biscuits. I'm using the jumbo butter flavored biscuits, and you're just going to mash those as flat as you can get them. Now, if it was just my husband and I wouldn't even do this step, but I had my grandson, so I had to stretch it a little bit. And what I found is that when you do this, it makes your dumplings flatter. And I just took and cut these into little bitty pieces, just again trying to make more dumplings because I had my grandson. Typically, I will just cut them and throw them in there, and they're really fluffy, and I like them that way. But that's usually how I make it when it's just my husband and I. But if you're trying to feed a large family, go ahead and flatten them out and cut them into tiny little pieces, just like this. And if you don't have a can of pop biscuits, y'all just grab some flour and just put water in it. It's that simple. I call those cold water dumplings, and I probably have a video on that, but it's really that easy and very inexpensive as well. But again, if you want to stretch a meal for your family or you're on a budget, this was the way to go because it did make more dumplings. Once you've got your dumplings ready, this should be starting to boil, and mine is starting to really boil here. Go ahead and drop your dumplings in carefully. If you're new to cooking, you might want to grab a utensil, but just drop them in carefully. And you don't want to lay them right on top of each other when you first drop them in. Let them boil for a few seconds, or, kind of space them out. If you're new to cooking, there's a tip for you. This keeps your dumplings from sticking to each other. Once you've dropped all your dumplings in the pot, we are going to add some pepper to this. You really won't need sodium because you've already got your chicken broth that has sodium in it, but you will need some pepper. And if you don't like pepper, that's always optional. But I add pepper, and I add lots of pepper. So I add ground pepper and cracked pepper as well. Also, if you're trying to incorporate vegetables into your diet, you can always drop some mixed vegetables in this, or some celery, and that always adds to it and makes for a great one-pot meal. Once you've dropped your dumplings in the pot and we've added some pepper, we're going to put a wooden spoon on top of the pot to keep it from boiling over. Now we want to make sure to turn that stovetop eye down to a simmer. And we're going to let these simmer for about 5 minutes. Give them a stir, and then we're going to put a lid on it. Turn your stovetop eye off. And I like to just cover mine with a lid and leave a little crack for the steam to come out, and let these sit for another 5 minutes, and voila, they are ready to be served. Y'all, it doesn't get much better than this. These were so delicious.